Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Track Talk, your connection coast to coast and beyond in all the latest news, developments, stake race analysis, and interviews inside the world of thoroughbred horse racing. From California to New York, Florida, and Kentucky, we have you covered. It's post time, live from San Diego. It's Track Talk. And we welcome you from the WS Radio studios here in San Diego, California on this Saturday, 10/10. That's October 10th, and I will drop the mask, and we will broadcast socially distant-free as we bring you the world of thoroughbred horse racing on this Saturday morning. We're live in San Diego from the WS Radio Network. Inside the studio is the guru of the WS Radio Network, Wade Taylor. He's producing and directing, making sure that we are all on virtually once again on this Saturday morning. And the week after the Preakness, it's like a breather week. It's a bye week, perhaps, maybe. You can associate that with a football term. But we got a great show today, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things. And a lot of things have happened and transpired since the last time we spoke. So we'll talk about that, and it's always a pleasure to have these two guys on. Toby Terrell will be joining a little bit later on in the radio program, and thank you very much for the nice comments, the text, the emails of you out there listening. We don't know where you are or who you are sometimes, but every little bit helps. And your comments in regard to our shows over the past 8 months, 10 months, whatever it's been, not been an easy task, but I have the utmost respect for these two guys that are coming on because they fought the valiant fight. Out to Tommy D we go on a Saturday morning. Papa got a brand new bag. You got a brand new baby girl in the house. What's shaking in your world, Tommy D?
Hey, good morning, Felix. Everything's great here. Baby Gianna's doing great. Luca's doing good. The family is off and running, and we're ready for some horse racing. Today at Belmont, Felix. Breeders' Cup winning, you're in. If you want one more chance to get in, today's your chance. You got 5 races. Unbelievable card at Belmont. 5 winning, you're in races. Breeders' Cup less than a month away. This is excitement because this is the best horse racing in each exact field of their class. So it's interesting to see. It's like the World Series of horse racing in each different class. So it's great to see. And today there will be 5 races at Belmont, a win and you're in. Also, 4 today and 1 tomorrow. And then also Keeneland has a nice little card and Santa Anita, so a lot of good horse racing, Felix.
Yeah, I didn't think it was strong as last week, obviously. It's a Triple Crown weekend last weekend with the Preakness and back at Belmont was exceptional. And the win and your ins are right, are good races, and they are important for the connections because that gets their ticket stamped to the Breeders' Cup. As you mentioned, we are less than a month away. The countdown to the Breeders' Cup is on, and we want to thank our friends at the Breeders' Cup, and they're going to be racing without any fans there as well. But we'll talk about that. We got a good show on this Saturday morning. Let's go up to Santa Anita. Let's join with my man, the Zapper. Zapper, how you doing on this Saturday?
Felix, good morning. Tommy laid it out good. Belmont has their winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup about a month away. Kind of short field sizes. I'm a little disappointed there, but when you're doing, I guess this would be like the round of 16 in theory. Started at Santa Anita last weekend. Keeneland had their share last week, and they run a 3-year-old filly race. That's one of my favorite races, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Keeneland today. Santa Anita, they've been holding their own. Good racing, turf course, immaculate condition, and we lost Barry Abrams yesterday, and he's like a mentor to me. So it's with a heavy heart we're going to go through this program. But Felix, I knew you were friends with Barry, his family, and he was just one of the good guys in the game.
Oh man. I'll tell you, you brought a tear to my eye, bro, because let me tell you, I met Barry Abrams in 1985, and I'll remember it for a long period of time because when Barry and I got to know one another, we were friends from that point on to this point right here. And, last week I shouted out to Barry and I told you that I called him after his Mo Forza. It's in partnership with Onofrio Picaro, a local guy down here in San Diego. And Barry and Diane, actually Diane's been a longer friend. His wife has been, I've known Diane before I met Barry. But, you talk about a class guy. You talk about a man that was a lot of fun to be around. And I reached out to his brother just about 30 seconds ago because I hope he's tuning in. And David Abrams, who, if you're around the racetrack at Del Mar, it's a family. And David and Hal Wilson and my man Joe over there, they would put this party together every summer at Del Mar. I mean, it was a party that you circled the calendar to be there. It usually was on a Tuesday night, maybe a Sunday night, where they opened up their house and they had so much great food. They had sushi. They had pastas. They had chicken. They were grilling. The desserts were in all the racing crowd, and Barry was loved by everybody. So you're talking about 500 people. You're not talking about a small party at a house. And it was great. It was great. And I will miss Barry, and we'll dedicate this show to him and Diane and the Abrams family. I know David very, very well. Andrew and Aaron, Barry's nephews, are like children of mine. So heavy hearts. But, he battled. And I don't want to make this about Barry Abrams, but I will. Barry Abrams fought the fight, ladies and gentlemen. He had cancer, throat cancer. He couldn't eat for years. Couldn't taste. Lost his taste. Lost his appetite. But he never lost his spirit and his will. And for that, Barry, you're in the Hall of Fame here at Track Talk with all of us. 1 week after the Preakness, a little conspiracy, a little bit of drama. Kenny McPeak, Matt Musiak, the agent for Tyler Gaffalione. Kenny says Tyler gave the word to ride for him. The agent said no. You were supposed to go into another stake race, and you all of a sudden, I gave the call to Chad Brown at Keeneland, and now it's all muddied up, and poor Tyler Gaffalione's in the middle. So we'll continue on to see that. No need for that. You won the race, Kenny. You move on. Robbie Alvarado's not feeling sorry. He picked up the mount. So what do you think about this Santa Anita card, Tommy D? Really quick. Give me a grade because I'm going to fire right at you.
You know what? I think it's probably a B. I would put it a B here. A lot of maiden races, but a B.
All right. What about Belmont?
Does have some short fields, great races. Maybe same thing. Maybe a B- for wagering for actually races and contenders that we're going to see for the Breeders' Cup. Probably an A-.
All right. What about Keeneland?
Keeneland's got a nice little card. I think overall they probably have one of the better cards. I would probably put them at an A- today.
All right. Same question to you, Zapper. Rate and grade the cards of today's racing.
Well, let's talk about Kentucky racing right now. Keeneland is the kingpin. You get the big New York barns like Bill Mott, Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher shows up, plus all the Keeneland guys, the Michael Makers, the Dale Romans, the Brad Coxes. So you get sprinkling little Southern California feel with little Richie Baltus, Phil D'Amato, Peter Miller. It's where the racing's at. If you like full field, high quality racing, there's no better racing right now than Keeneland. Belmont's got some big name races, but they're short fields, and there'll be some short price favorites. Santa Anita, fighting to keep it going. We're in a horse shortage. I believe I've seen enough in the last week, and I'm so thankful to be at Santa Anita in the mornings. But I think Santa Anita's doing the best job possible. I think the racing has been strong in Southern California. Del Mar had a really strong meet. Andy Mathis, Jonathan Wong, and a few other Northern California outfits really helped that out. But Keeneland right now, Felix, if you're trying to bet on horse racing, Keeneland's where it's at. Period. It's an A+ card.
But please. I mean, Santa Anita's cards have been competitive. You can't, Del Mar's cards were good. Okay? So I know the fields are a problem everywhere, but the quality of racing, and Zapper just brought it to the forefront, has been good. It's been solid. It's been consistent. You know what? It's okay. And like Tommy D would say, I'll steal from each of these guys. We're happy that we're running. And so they're running there. The quality of Keeneland racing is what it is. But let me tell you something about Keeneland, that they think that they invented racing. They believe that they are the granddaddy and they rule. They are the emperor of thoroughbred horse racing. No sooner last week did I give a little credit to Ken Daniels and myself and Joe DeFrancis for running with the colored saddle cloths. Remember the saddle cloth issue that Kenny and I invested 15 years to get racing to change? And what happened? They ran back to those antiquated saddle cloths in the stakes race. Everybody looked the same. Around the group of people that I was watching the races, people were going, "Who's that, the 2?" The guy said it's the 3. Keeneland always has to push the envelope. But I guess when you have the need for product, and they have product, can't disagree with that. You look at their maiden races, $70,000. 2-year-old maiden race today, race number 7. $70,000. $42,000 goes to the winner of that race. It might have been the purchase price of some of these horses if they win this race today. Right, Zapper?
Well, you see a lot of expensive horses running at Keeneland. And, Felix, saying they invented racing, obviously Kentucky is the home of the thoroughbred, where we breed most of the top shelf thoroughbreds. People come around the world. I was just 3 weeks in Lexington. They do a good job there. It's a nice racetrack. But you're right, Southern California fighting, putting out a quality product. We do have good owners here. I mean, even though they haven't treated the owners as maybe they should, but it's getting better.
What do you mean treating the? What do you mean treating the owners as they should?
Owner can come back and see their horse. It's an outside activity.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay the bills and you can't go visit your horse with a mask on. I mean, that's kind of a little ridiculous. We're not going indoors there, and they didn't let owners in for quite some time. I mean, I guess the health department rules and regulations. But seriously, owners, we need them. We need bettors. We need a lot of parts of this game. Barry Abrams, he was the guy who ran his horses, treated his owners well because he ran his horses, tried to earn for them. They're the backbone of the game. And, I'm just glad we're starting to head in the right direction. But for Saturday, listen, we're up against college football. We're up against the NBA. What a game last night, by the way.
When we're talking about two different things here. And first of all, the owners are the owners. But I'll call bullshit, and I will say this, Zapper, that the backbone of this industry are you, Tommy D, Toby Terrell, Bob Ike, Kurt Hoover, the people that bet. The bettors are the one that has always been slighted. And let me tell you this. If you don't have the players, what's the horses? Who's going to pay for the purses? Who's going to pay? Who's going to pay, Zapper? It's the players that are the backbone. And Now, if you want to say the players have been mistreated, I'm all in. I'll push all in with you, bro. I agree a total 1,000%. And Tommy D, you know how important the players are, don't you?
Definitely, the players are really important, obviously, to keep this game running. The handle that's going in to these tracks while we were, running virtual has been unbelievable. Probably picking up a small few new fans to the sport is what we need. So yeah, we do need to treat all the players right too. But Zap is right too. We got to treat the owners right too, because they are the ones that are putting the horses on the track.
I agree.
And being part of a partnership too, I agree. You should be able to go back if you're paying $3,000-4,000 a month for your horse. You should be able to go back and see it, as long as you stay to their safety protocols. Because the owners, without seeing it and being involved in it, then you lose a little bit of that experience. And the experience of horse racing that's what it's about. Zap and Fields. It's all about the experience.
You're right. You are absolutely right about that. Good comeback, and I didn't want to, make this a point against Zapper. I'm just making this a point of how I feel. But there are a lot of billionaires that own horses, and they don't need to own horses. But that relationship of family and togetherness around the racetrack, of having that athlete in your barn, becomes family. And there's no question about that. Let's go to Keeneland today, because I was looking at these races, and you want full fields? Well, you got full fields. You guys want to start in race number 6? This is a doozy right here. You got 116 horses going to post. We got race number 6 at Keeneland. It's going to be a distance of ground for fillies and mares. They're maidens for $70,000. Tommy D, you take first shot. Larry Zapp is going to put the hammer down.
So taking a look at this, like you said, maiden special weight. So, a lot of these horses, obviously not having a win, going the mile in the 16th. Some going to be stretching it out, riding for the first time. I kind of like a horse, a couple scratches were the 3 and the 4 here. But I like Mark Cassie here. I'm going to take another shot on this horse. And this is number 5, Broadway Lady at 8-1. Constitution's the sire. I'm looking at the workouts. These the workouts are getting back. That Kentucky Downs track is tough to run on. He's going to be getting this 3-year-old filly by Constitution is going to be getting more distance. So I think at 8-1, I do like Broadway Lady. And you definitely got to look on the outside also and take a look at Red Light Racer, first timer for Chad Brown. $525,000 purchase at the Keeneland September sale. So there's high hopes for this one. Obviously, the morning line at 3-1. So those are the 2 that I'm looking at here. Maybe the 11-2 out there had a really game closing at 6.5 at Kentucky Downs. We'll be adding some distance there. Maybe one to look at, but my top 2 are going to be the 10 and the 5 here, Felix.
Hey, Tommy D, before I forget, congratulations on some nice handicapping last week along with Zapper. You guys came to the table. Your Detmonger won like a champ, and you consistently dug yourself into Detmonger and did not move, because I kept on. When we analyzed the race and we talked about it, you brought it in the best bets. You had the best bet in the last word, I believe. But Detmonger, Bill Spar, Tiago Pereira, that was a very, very nice win. Good handicapping there. All right, Zapper, race number 6. Anything different? I'm sure that you can go a number of different ways here.
Well, his friends call him Nacho, and I'm talking about Ignacio Corrales. He's the trainer of the 11 horse. This guy can train a horse. And Empress Eleanor, the 11 horse, 5-1. Boy, was this filly, 3-year-old filly by Empire Maker, gobbling ground up down that long stretch at Kentucky Downs. That was 6.5. We go a mile and 16th today. The only thing Brian Hernandez is going to have to do is negotiate a trip for this filly, because she was just crying out for more distance. I make her the horse to beat off that race. I can't really add much else. I think Tommy D covered the contenders. The 8, Kano Lowe, 12-1 is the only one I'll include. She comes out of some strong heats. There have been many winners out of her 2 races. She stretched out at Churchill last time from a sprint at Ellis. blinkers go on, I'd look for those changes. She's by More Than Ready out of a Smart Strike mare, really bred for it. So for me, I'm going to throw Tommy D's horses in, really key in on the 11 Empress Eleanor, and as a long shot, throw in the 8 horse, kind of low way for Bernie Flint's really good betting race, as many are at Keeneland today, Felix.
All right, let me go right back to you, Zapper. Great analysis, by the way. 7th race we go. Another group of maidens. These are fillies, and this is a $70,000 purse. You have any thoughts in regard to race number 7 from Keeneland?
You know, when you look at a race like this, and really nobody has what I'd call ready to win form. There's a lot of first-time starters. There's a lot of top outfits. There's an Into Mischief, and you got to mention he's going to stand for 225 next year. And boy, is he just ascended up the ranks of, he's the next Stormcat. Stormcat once got a HBO story by Brian Gumbel about the maybe wealthiest athlete, Into Mischief, catching up with what Stormcat did. Felix, I really can't find a runner here. I'm going to play some exotics. I'm buying this race. I mean, I wish I could say use this horse and that horse, but too many first-time starters in this race, and I think everybody has a chance in here if you can afford it, and that's why we like these 50-cent pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s. I'd buy the race because it's that difficult of a race.
Stormcat, one of my favorite. You know where he was sired, don't you, Zapper?
I believe he was a Virginia bred. Pennsylvania, darn it.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but, you got to go. You're disqualified. Over to Tommy D we go. And 7th race, I knew I'd get him, Tommy D. I just knew that he brought it to the table. I had to fire back. I wanted to see how strong he was. Tommy D, you play poker. You raise to test the other person's hand. So he brought Stormcat to the party. I just want to make sure that he knows that Stormcat, ladies and gentlemen, is from my home state of Pennsylvania. Tommy D, the 7th race at Keeneland.
I agree with Zap. This is a very tough race. You might be able to find a price here. So a couple things that I looked at, and number 4, Binge Watch, is one that I like at a price 10 to 1. Our boy Flavian Pratt will be riding over there. Rudolph Brissett is the trainer here. This one was 2 to 1 in its debut. So 10 to 1, and you give me Flavian board, I'm going to take a little action on that one. And then also, Calhoun does pretty good with 2-year-olds, and I'm talking about number 5, Peace Broker, at 12 to 1. And then the last one I'll mention at a price also would be, number 10, Make a Joyful Noise, at 15 to 1, Christopher Davis. Maiden special weight, 20% on 65 starts, does pretty well with 2-year-olds. First start, 26%. In a race like this, something like this could happen, Felix. So I'm with them, but there's a couple prices maybe that you want to throw in on some smaller tickets.
Yeah. I was looking at these connections, and Zapper brought it to us, earlier as we opened up the Keeneland segment. The connections are like, they give you a headache. They really do. When you look at the jockeys that are in this colony, as well as the trainers that have horses running today. Just for example, Brian Lynch, Mark Casse, Ian Wilkes, Brendan Walsh, Bernie Flint, Victoria Oliver, C.C. Brown. Who's C.C. Brown? I'm only kidding. All right. Then you have Castellano, Santana. Bejarano's riding very well. Our man Joe Talamo is lights out. Martin Garcia. They 3 left California, went back to the Midwest, and got their business banging. Joe Talamo won last weekend for Paulo Lobo in the $750,000 race. Joe smoking Talamo. Was that a great ride, Zapper? And you remember Paulo Lobo, the Brazilian?
Yes, that ride and that horse who came in from South America with serious credentials. It took him a while to acclimate, but man, did that horse get a shot out of a cannon. And Joe Talamo riding with a ton of confidence back there. I think Dale Roman's son is his agent.
That might be. I read something where Del Roman's son is an agent, but I don't know if it's to Joe Talamo. It very well could be, but you know what we feel about Del Romans, and the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Del Romans, one of our all-time, or personally speaking, I got to tell you, he's one of my all-time favorite guests on there. Every time I've reached out to Del Romans, no matter where it was, he was there. He came on. I appreciate people like Steve Asmussen and Tommy D and Larry Zapp. You reach out to them, they get back with you. 8th race we go at Keeneland. 200,000, and then we move down to the 3-year-old filly race that Zapper was talking about, the Grade 1 $500,000 race there. I think there might be a shot here. I like a couple of runners here in the 8th, a couple runners in the 9th. Let's flip a coin. Tommy D, you win the flip. You take it away. Race number 8. Zapper will go ahead and put his New York Jet hammer down. All right, the Pittsburgh Steeler hammer down. Keeneland's 8th race, Tommy D.
All right, let's do it. This is the Fayette Stakes, 1 mile and 1/8 for 3-year-olds and up. This is a Grade 2. I thought this was a challenging race, but before we go any farther, I just want to add to the conversation of jockeys. Luis Saez is lights out. He's 40% winning right now. 22 mounts, he's got 9 wins. So pay attention, Luis Saez. You got to put him on your tickets. He's not in this race, so let's go to number 10. Aurelius Maximus is a horse that I like at a price here. This could be a little bit of a reach. Steve Asmussen. This was once in the Chad Brown barn. Ran in the Champagne Stakes last year as a 2-year-old, finished 4th. High hopes. Now with Steve Asmussen training. Santana Jr. on the other side is not riding really well. I expect him to maybe come back here. The Cyrus Pioneer of Nile, this 4-year-old colt. I like 10-1. That's 10 Aurelius Maximus. Number 6, Mr. Freeze. This one is the experience of the field. Just shows up and at the distance has finished 6th, 1st, 2nd, and 2nd. So does like the distance here. Coastal Defense might be one you throw in there, talking about Smoke and Joe. Dale Romans, 1 versus allowance, non-winners. Curlin's the sire, so the distance should be there. And the last one I'll mention is Craft Daddy. Craft Daddy won going the turf to the dirt last time, 97 buyer, our man Kenny McPeak and Scat Daddy. But I like this one to be open. 10 is my top choice, the 6. And the 5 and the 3, 6, 5, 1, 3 there, Felix.
Tommy D, I'm gonna add a little something that you just brought to it, and it's funny that you would say this because I have noticed that Ricardo Santana Jr. is not riding as sharp and making those types of moves that we've seen him maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And I'm a little bit concerned, and I backed him a couple times, and I got some horrible rides. Is his percentage gone down, or is he just, per your eye, is he just riding bad and you've been watching some of the races? What made you come and tell us about that he is not riding well?
Looking at the jockey stats, and when you see Santana, who's a great young rider, 23 starts, and he only has 1 win.
Yep.
I mean, he's on the bottom. He's on the bottom of these jockey standings. A lot of these jockeys that have minimal mounts are already ahead of him. So with 23, and then you look at a jockey like Luis Saez, he's got 9. Gaffleone's got 6 wins. Rosario's got 4. I know we just started, but, with 23 mounts, that is a concerning because he's getting top-class horses, especially riding for Steve Asmussen.
Tommy D, is there an application, or can I get the information in regard to like losing streaks and jockeys that haven't won over a long period of time? Like, and I'll put it right out here. Giovanni Franco, he has to be over 100. Can somebody verify what he is? And we talk about slumps in sports. You have the highs and the lows. And, I don't make fun of anybody going through a slump. But I've seen some slumps. And Giovanni Franco, Zapper, maybe you can confirm this as well. But I cannot remember Giovanni Franco winning a race at Del Mar or coming into Del Mar being blanked as well. Has he won a race? Can somebody verify that for me? What do you think, Zapper?
I think he won a race last Saturday. I couldn't tell you which horse, but I remember Toby Terrell texting me. I think Felix just put Giovanni Franco in the winner's circle. So you might want to verify that with Tommy D, but I think he won a race last Saturday. And you've got to start following a guy like this because he's probably been pressing. And to get a win or two after a long, like on the Schneid, Del Mar, guys like that who can ride should start showing up and probably bring home a couple prizes.
Yeah.
But I think he did win on Saturday.
Well, that's good because I like Giovanni, and I continued to bet him, and thinking that he had a runner in the opening race on Friday a week ago, as I believe at Santa Anita, and he was like 13-1, and when jockeys don't win, their prices go up as well. People look at it, they read the same thing that, we do. We all see the same thing, different versions perhaps, maybe the racing form or Briss or whatever you have in regard to getting your data, the Ragazine sheets. It could be the figs. It could be a lot of different ways. It could be the digest. It could be a number of different publications and data sources that you get your information. But, when you see a jockey being like 0 for 100, as a bettor, we're talking about betting, you lose confidence in betting him. And that does not say that he's not a good rider. I remember one time when Alex Solis was going through a monster slump. I mean, he could not win a race. And we had wine after, and he talked about exactly what you talked about, Zapper. And I just let Alex talk. And he just said that, I'm just pressing. I want to break this streak so bad, so it consumes you as an athlete because you're not accustomed for rejection and defeat. As an athlete, you have that mindset and that sports ego that I'm the best and I'm the greatest and I can compete. And with that being said, may I just take this one short moment to congratulate the San Diego Padres. Tommy D's been a long-time fan. We're both transplants. Tommy D's from New York. Zapper's from New York. I'm from Pennsylvania, as mentioned. And we've seen some lean seasons. The Padres lost 100 games a lot of times. They've had 9 losing seasons in a row. The abbreviated season was 60. And Game 2 of the best of 5 against the Dodgers, Cody Bellinger making a tremendous catch from a tremendous player, Fernando Tatis Jr. And if that ball goes over, that gives the Padres a lead of 4-3. Don't know if they would have won that game. But I could say this one thing. If they would have won that game and made that series 1-1, this town would have gone bonkers. This town, I'm so proud to be living in San Diego. I really am. I've been in San Diego for a long time, 45, 50 years. I love this city. This is one of the greatest communities, America's finest cities in the world. The people here are tremendous people. They have heart. They have love. They have compassion. And I want to tell you, I sat with 2 homebred Padre fans during each and every one of these games, including the St. Louis Cardinals when they were down 6-2. And the Padres came back to win that game and then won Game 3 to win the series. See, the first round was best of 3. The second round was best of 5. The Dodgers are a very good baseball team. But I'm going to tell you, everybody that's listening, Atlanta Braves will beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Atlanta Braves are going to win the World Series. They have it all. They have pitching, speed, defense, power. They have collectiveness. They got a great manager. Dodgers a little suspect for me. I mean, the Padres took you to the limit. You got to play a little bit better. I mean, the Padres aren't in the same tier of the Braves and the Dodgers. But I want to tell you, we have shortened that distance. And Tommy D, I want to tell you, the excitement of this community, San Diego, over the Padres warms my heart. You had to feel it being in the industry yourself.
Felix, I had a neighbor across the street, diehard Padre fan, and I've been here 12 years, and the whole time I've been here, the Padres have never made the playoffs, so I've never experienced before. But these guys all came out of nowhere. They put up their beat Dodger flags, and it really hurt me big time. For them to get beat the way they did to the Dodgers. I thought that their team is more respectable than that. I think they have a great team moving forward. And with their top two pitchers, guess what, Felix? I think they had a chance to beat the Dodgers because that was a big blow. When you lose your top two pitchers in baseball, you can't come back from that, especially in the Major League Baseball playoff series.
I agree. You take LeBron James and Anthony Davis off the Lakers. Do the Lakers make the finals? And how about Jimmy Buckets? I told everybody, I said, everybody, I caught the heat, and I don't know if I said this. I like to brag about this because I really love this because I only caught them. I only caught them playing in the bubble, and all of a sudden, when I watched a lot of these games with no fans in the bubble down in Lake Kissimmee in Florida, just a stone's throw from Disney World. I saw something in the Heat that, as a basketball purist and enthusiast, that I really liked. I just liked the grit. These guys were tough. They were tough. And Jimmy, this was Jimmy Butler's team. Okay, make no question about it. Everything revolved around Jimmy Butler. Pat Riley, again, working his magic. Zapper, it's not a good year for your Jets and the Giants, and so you want to come over and hang out with us Pittsburgh Steelers fans?
Well, I'm a Mets fan but I love the Yankees as well, and they went down yesterday. I actually am a big Padre fan, haven't been in San Diego for 20-something straight summers, and Tatis's team going forward, Tommy's right, losing your pictures.
I hooked you up at Petco Park, didn't I?
Yes, you did. But you asked the very I couldn't care less. I want the Jets to not win a game this year. I want 2020 to really be stamped as that year of craziness and the Jets going 0 for the year. If they win a game, I'll be disappointed. How about that? And the Steelers, so much respect. Know exactly where he was with the immaculate reception of Franco Harris. Know exactly where he was in the living room in Queens, in Jackson Heights, Queens. So, I go way back with your Steelers, and I have so much respect. And the Mean Joe Green commercials, Coca-Cola, sharing with the kid. Felix, there are things that are just stuck in your brain from childhood that just like Barry Abrams offered me great advice 30 years ago, telling me to follow the path, and I did. So and as a sports fan, Jimmy Buckets, how can you not like that guy? That guy willed them to win last night's game. LeBron might have played his best playoff game ever. It's just amazing what we're getting to watch, during all this COVID time, but I'm glad there's going to be a Game 6, but, we'll just talk about football some other time. How about that?
I think we can talk about whatever we want, and we should talk about a lot of things. Jimmy Butler, Quigley, and I had the opportunity to hang with Jimmy Butler at Del Mar and Motown Men. He was with that group, and he bet a lot on that horse that day, and that horse won, and he loved sticking the cash in his short pockets. I'll remember we had a great time that day. You talk about being a Yankee fan, and how about Whitey Ford and Bob Gibson and Tom Seaver and Lou Brock, all these icons that we grew up with in baseball that have passed away. Whitey Ford, 1960 World Series, Pittsburgh Pirates and New York Yankees, the 1961 Most Valuable Player. I think he has 14 rings. It was from a Yankee from 49 to 64. Wow. And you talk about being the chairman of the board. He was the chairman of the board. All right, game number 6 of the Heat and the Lakers go tomorrow night. Let's go to Santa Anita real quick. Tommy D, give me a Tommy D Reader's Digest version of the Pick 5.
Felix, let's look at it real quick here. So race 1 here, maiden special weight. Toby would probably be able to help us out here a little bit later, but I like the 3, 5, and 2 in race 1. I did follow on the favorite here, Star Sailor, the first-time starter for John Sadler here. 3, 7, 2 in race 1. Moving on to race 2, another maiden 50. Number 5, Big Mama Sue, Paula Gary, third in maiden 50 last time out for Stark, and take another shot there. The 2, Princess Sadi, first-timer for O'Neill. And then the 3, Complete Control, dropping down in class for Freeman. And I'm going to use the 5, 2, 3 there. Maiden 40, race 3. Flat Out Joy, dropping down in class here. Ellis Valdivia, like that combo. Possible single there. I'm going to throw in number 1, Sweet Sony, along there. So the 1 and the 5 in race 3. Race 4, optional claiming 40K, non-winners of 1, going 5.5 on the turf. Number 2, Over Cash is my top choice here. Sadler Rispoli is going to be dropping down in class. The base a little softer here, 72. I think that's a very fair price. I might add the number 3, Galogi, Baltus turning it up from 1 mile and a 16th, is the front speed here. So the 2 and the 3 here, and then the other Baltus horse, 8, Dolce. Third in his last out at Del Mar in closing. So he's got 2 different types of horses here running 2 different styles. So 2, 3, 8 in race 4. And then race 5, number 1, Blazing Charm, is third in his last, closing in nicely at 6 furlong. So I'm going to have that one on there. Number 6, Sweet Honor. Ian Krujak is the trainer here. And number 4, Ice Kitty, Yacht Team. Dirt to Turf, broke its maiden on the dirt. Victor Espinoza, 3-1 there. So 1, 6, and 4 in race 5.
Do you have any idea, Zapper, what that early Pick 5 paid yesterday at Santa Anita?
No, I don't, but it was some nice prices that came in yesterday. I don't think we're going to see that today. So what was it, Felix?
$32,000. And every time I leave the OC Tavern, I go back and I just hit the results of all the tracks, and I just look and see who won and who missed and the prices and what have you. And I got to tell you something, that this was the most uncanny, out-of-body experience that you could ever imagine. There's an autistic young man. His name is Gabriel. His father brings him into the OC Tavern, and Gabriel's about 28 now, and he's very, very funny, has a great sense of humor. He's autistic, so keep that in mind. And he said, my lucky number today is 5, and he leaves. And he goes into the bar. Now, I'm going to tell you that I am a big numbers guy. I believe numbers repeat itself. Numbers repeat numbers. You'll see a 3-win here, and you'll see the 3-win at the next race up. Sometimes same numbers. It just happens that way. Rhyme or reason, I don't know, but there's a reason. When I tell you that after Gabriel said 5, for the next 10 races, wherever they were, Belmont, you can check this out. Belmont, Woodbine, Keeneland, Santa Anita, the 5 ran first or second, and they were major prices in some of those, like 25-1, 35-1, 14, 15. Even when the 5, that one race at Woodbine, the 5 was 45-1, he ran second. But there is something to be said about numbers. So, Zapper, Tommy D gave us the Reader's Digest version of Santa Anita. This card looks completely different than it did yesterday. It doesn't seem so juicy of an attraction. if you may. But what do you have in regard to the Reader's Digest? Pick 5, Zapper.
I'm just going to jump on Tommy D's ticket. I'm going to buy at least a leg of that ticket.
Yeah, okay. How much will it cost? Let me see. 3 times 3 is 6. How much is your ticket going to cost? Tommy?
Hold on, 48 times 3.
Where were you? Were you out to lunch there? Where
144. That's 48 times 3.
Hold on, my math, I can't get my calculator up. I'm having phone difficulties.
All right, so go ahead. You got 3, 5, 2 in the first, the 5, 2, 3 in the second, the 1 and the 5 in the third. In the fourth race, you like who?
In the fourth race, I like number 2 over attached, and then the 2 Baltus horses, the 3 and the 8. And I might throw in 4 on the deeper tickets after taking a second look, but definitely 2, 3, 8 is what I originally said.
All right, so what did you say, 2 and 3?
2, 3, 8.
All right,
in
2,
race
3.
4.
And then race,
yep.
Go ahead, race 5?
And 1, 6, and 4.
All right, 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18, times 3 is 54, times
72.
All right, so and then divide that by half. How much it costs?
I think it's 72.
Yeah. What do you think, Zapper? How much does it cost?
I'll say $72.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
All right.
Sounds about right.
Zapper, by the way, you talk about Stormcat. You know what Stormcat stud fees were at one time?
I believe he got up to, I want to say $500,000, Felix. I think at the height. Brian Gumbel did that Inside Sports thing on HBO about it, and I think it got up to $500,000.
Ding, ding, ding. You are a winner. You come right back. Could you think about every time you went to the breeding shed, Wade Taylor, and every time you impregnated somebody, you got $500,000, and you were the big dude in town, Pennsylvania bred. And Zapper, I think Stormcat's been dead for, 5-10 years now?
At least.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember.
Does he have very, very much of an offspring racing? I mean, the children, his grandchildren, whatever the case might be. Are there any Stormcats that are still racing?
He's in a lot of pedigrees. I'm one of those guys, those pedigree geeks that looks at 5-generation pedigrees. And you don't see as much inbreeding with Stormcat. I think they ran a little hot, and they were also notoriously had a kind of a smaller throat. So a lot of the breeders, you see a lot more Mr. Prospector inbreeding. You see a lot more Northern Dancer inbreeding. You don't see as much Stormcat inbreeding, but you see Stormcat in a lot of places. He just influenced the breed, and it'll be with the breed. That's all it'll be. I mean, his dam sire was Secretariat. His sire was Storm Bird, who's by Northern Dancer, and the Terlingua, his dam, was a big, strong, stout dam, and he just puts a lot of good bone and presence on a horse, and you see a lot of it in pedigrees today, Felix.
Yeah, without any doubt, he did die in 2013, and he was something else. In $500,000 a pop. That's my kind of guy. I mean, they're paying premium prices to see him late at night or at the breeding shed. My kind of guy is Stormcat, and a lot of times when I leave this radio program, your voices play in my head, Tommy D and Larry Zapp. And something that you said earlier is that I noticed too, and I didn't comment on it, Zapper. And you said about the stud fee of Into Mischief was going to go up to $200,000. I think you said, if I recall. But I noticed over the last 2 months that there are a lot of Into Mischiefs that are winning all around the country, Zapper.
He is the best sire in the land. They do everything. They sprint, they route, they run on turf, they run on dirt. He is Beholder's brother, and he didn't race as much. Richard Mandela trained him for B. Wayne Hughes, which is basically Spendthrift Farm. But what he is, and when you see them at the sales, you don't even have to look at your catalog page. You know when you're looking at an Into Mischief. They stand over ground. They just have this certain shape to them, and he's really been a game changer. He's by Harlan's Holiday, out of that great mare, like I said, that produced Beholder, produced Mendelssohn, who's going to be a sire. We're going to see his progeny in a year or two, Felix. That is a heck of a mare to produce Into Mischief and Beholder.
Are you saying, excuse me, are you saying that Into Mischief and Beholder are full brothers and sisters?
They're half brothers and sisters. Into Mischief is by Harlan's Holiday, and Beholder was by Henny Hughes. Their mother is Leslie's Lady, who became what is known as a blue hen mare because of her production record. She's by Tricky Creek. She's a minor stakes horse, but boy, let me just say, boy, has she been a producer. You know, I talked about inbreeding earlier. Hell to Reason, the sire of Halo, and who sired Sunday Silence, is what I really think makes Into Mischief really pop. He's inbred 4x5 to that stamina source, Hell to Reason. But it's real interesting. Even the handicappers are using pedigree more than ever. I know you've had Lauren Stitch on, and a lot of people will use pedigrees in their handicapping, and it's usually a great angle because not everyone's using it.
Yeah, without any doubt. Without any doubt. I mean, all you have to do is for your handicapping is hang out with Double T, Toby Terrell. He joins us somewhere from La La Land on this Saturday morning. My friend, how in the hell are you?
That's what we call it here in L.A. It's La La Land, indeed. But guys, I'm sure you've talked about the passing of Barry Abrams. I have to throw that in. First and foremost, from my corner, Barry was a big part of my life for many years out here. I had horses with him. He trained one of the best horses I've ever had, named Walt's Wharf, named after the big restaurant in Seal Beach. And Barry had it all in horse racing. He wore horse racing on his sleeve. It didn't matter what dimension, what aspect of the game. He had more passion for this sport than anyone perhaps I've ever known, and he did it on a big, big level, all the way to the top with basically being the brains behind Unusual Heat. I could go on and on and on, but I'll leave everybody with this. On top of it all, I'll never forget being told from a guy close to him early on that he came from the harness game and said that he was probably the best groom that anyone has ever known before he even became a thoroughbred trainer. So we're all going to miss Barry, but I had to get that in there, Felix.
Yeah, we paid tribute. Top of the broadcast. Very well said. Heartfelt, Toby Terrell. Agreed, stamped 1,000,000%. And I'll throw a Barry Abrams little situation that we had. We were in Vegas, and we were at the Mirage. And this guy had $5 left, and he went up and he played. This is the year of the minimum bet on an exacta was $5, and this guy went up with $5 and played a 1-5 and hit it. And Barry turned to me and said, "This is why this game is so great. You can have very little money. You can't go in." I think the exacta paid like $400. Okay, and he said you can't go into playing blackjack or craps or whatever board game or whatever, table games, casino games with $5 and expect to win. But you can have $5 in your hand and go into a race book or a racetrack and just line up perfectly just one time. And as he did, 1 and 5 returned 400 and change. And so many. And Eddie Garcia, I will never forget the night. Barry Abrams, Eddie Garcia, Octavio Vergara, and I all got together after the races at Del Mar. It was like the Copacabana Eddie Garcia was on stage telling stories, and it was monumental. I will never forget those times with Barry Abrams. Toby Terrell, what do you have in regard to the races? A lot of maiden races today. First two, what do you have? You've been real hot, Toby. By the way, stand up and take a bow. Your winner's card has been dangerous out there, my friend. So keep up the good work. That pick 5 paid $32,000 yesterday, and you missed the fourth leg of that race. You had the big bomb at 25-1 in your second or third leg, and you overlooked whatever. There was bombs yesterday, but hey, I mean, like, you were lined up for another pick 5 score. You hit the one before last weekend for 5,500. Keep it up, Toby. What do you have for us?
Yeah, well, my closing note for Barry is last time I saw him was fitting. It was in the Eddie Logan suite right here to my right-hand side, right down, and he was sitting on the couch. Never forget it. That's my final time with Barry. And as far as today goes, Felix, the third race is a maiden race, as is, let's start with the third. I like number 5 in here, the heavy favorite, Flat Out Joy. I think Ron Ellis is taking this horse right to the winner's circle, hopefully for fun, in race number 3. And that could be a pick 5 single. Our next maiden race is going to be down in the nightcap. And in here, it looks like a pretty solid spot for me for number 3, Full Draw for John Sadler. He has this horse training up well. In fact, he worked in company with a horse here at Santa Anita that's already competed against winners, and I thought he outworked him. So his AM form makes him a PM winner here today. Full Draw with Umberto. How do you say his last name, Felix?
Rispoli.
There you go.
Not Rispoli. It's Rispoli. Umberto Rispoli. It's just flies right off the tongue. I mean, it's very easy. Everybody out there together, okay? If you're listening to the radio show, Rispoli, Umberto Rispoli, ladies and gentlemen. And I bet him twice yesterday. I can't catch this guy. He wins a million races until I put a couple dollars on him, and then he can't find him. All righty. Hey, we had this little? Did Giovanni Franco win a race last weekend?
He did indeed. You put him right in the winner's circle. Hard-fought, head-to-head, wire-to-wire win. He was pinned on the rail all the way and rode the hair off of number 1, Camby, for a big upset win, I believe at a juicy $15. And I told Zapper right after the race, I said, that was the play right there. Felix put him right into the chips.
All right, well, Tommy D and I wrapped Ricardo Santana quite a bit today, so I guess I know where I'm going today. I'm going to circle every race that Ricardo Santana rides. But what was he, Toby, coming in? Somebody has to tell me what Franco was coming in. He had to lose over 100 straight races. I mean, I know like a couple weeks ago he was 0 for 85, and so I want to reach out to him and congratulate him because I really like it. All right, best bet time across the country. First to you, Tommy D. Where's your best bet? You were right on last weekend with Detmonger. Where's your best bet, my friend?
Yeah, just a real quick note. Champagne Stakes, Grade 1, going off race 4 at Belmont. Jackie's Warrior seems to be a standout, and this could be potential Kentucky Derby contender next year. So that's Jackie's Warrior. Looks to be a standout. Race 4 coming up. But I'm going to be moving out to Keeneland. We talked about some Keeneland races, and the Keeneland race I'm talking about is race number 9. Magic Attitude. It is the favorite here. It is 5-2, but won the Belmont Oaks in its first North American start. I really like the chances here. Won a Grade 3 at the distance in France, so 5-2 morning line. Number 4, Magic Attitude in a big race at Keeneland. That's race 9. The Queen Elizabeth second Challenge Cup, Grade 1, Felix.
Yeah, 500,000, brother. You're right. 3-year-old filly's a mile and a half. Zapper, best bet. Where is it?
I'm just blown away. Eddie Garcia's last win in this game was as an agent for Fernando Valenzuela on said Waltz War for Barry Abrams, bought by Larry Zapp, owned in part by Toby Terrell. Just mind-blowing how this all connects. Race 8 at Keeneland, you didn't let me go over it, but I'm glad because I was saving it for my best bet. The Grade 2 Fayette Stakes, number 9. When this horse got left in the Oklahoma Derby and kind of made the lead turning for home, got run down by Shared Sense, I said, I'm betting this horse wherever he shows up. He's a 3-year-old. He's much improving. He's by Uncle Mo. He's 12-1. Michael Maker winning all over the country. Number 9, Mosa. Race number 8 at Keeneland is today's best, and this is for you, Barry Abrams. Passion is no ordinary word.
And Mosa with Michael Maker, Florent Giroux. By the way, I just mentioned, I said, like this Maker, he's winning at Gulfstream, he's winning at Laurel, he's winning at Belmont, he's winning at Keeneland. I just said that to a guy. I said, this Michael Maker, we got to keep an eye on this Michael Maker. Toby Terrell, where's your best bet?
Well, let's keep the theme on a highest note of all and just keep it simple. The name of the best bet is Flat Out Joy, and that's what it's all about, guys.
What race is that, Toby?
That is race number 3.
3 at Santa Anita. All righty. You know, Eddie Garcia, anybody who knew this character, he was the funniest guy with his accent. He was Cuban, and he was masterful. You talk about laughing and just enjoying other people's company. Barry Abrams, you will be sorely missed, and David Abrams, Diane Abrams, the entire Abrams family. I mean, Barry struggled for a long time, and he's in a better place right now. He's sleeping peacefully, but he fought the fight. He fought the fight, and he fought and fought and fought. For Wade Taylor inside the studio, I'm Felix Taverna, the crew, Tommy D in Pacific Beach, Larry Zapp up at Santa Anita, Toby Terrell right next to the Eddie Logan Lounge at Santa Anita. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are the best.
Have you tried DRF Formulator PPs at DRF.com? Take your handicapping to the next level with premium features not found in DRF Classic PPs, including one-click access to complete race charts, full-screen video replays with both standard and head-on views, add your notes for a card, horse, or trip, and access from any device, view Timeform US pace figures, get customized printing options, and so much more. Try DRF Formulator PPs today at DRF.com/PPs.
Hi, everyone. Felix Taverna for Rough and Ready Moving and Storage. From down the street to across the country, if your move is too tough, you call Rough. That's my man, John Ruff, R-U-F-F, Rough and Ready Moving and Storage. Local or cross-country, military moves, corporate relocations, packaging, storage. They have it all in the Temecula Valley. That's roughandreadymoving.com. That's Rough and Ready, R-U-F-F, and readymoving.com. When you talk about San Diego legends, you got to talk about Big John at Tip Top Meats, a European delicatessen unlike anything in San Diego. You know, it's located in Carlsbad, and traditionally, it's been a fan favorite for many. Big John does it right. With the holiday season just around the corner, it's your best bet. Big John, Tip Top Meats, and top shelf fish. I mean, that's a daily double. You've been there, you know, it's legendary. The most trusted information provider in horse racing is now the leading logic in sports handicapping. The daily racing form has launched DRF Sports. Visit sports.drf.com to learn more and get the edge you need to win big. Access their exclusive database of trends and powerful angles for just $5 per week. And if you use promo code PENNY, you'll get your first week for just 1 cent. Visit sports.drf.com today. Hi, this is Felix Taverna, and I'm here to share with you a great place to begin your day, and that is the Broken Yoke Cafe. 15 San Diego locations to serve you. Downtown, Mission Valley, Bonita, East Lake, San Diego State, Point Loma, Mira Mesa, Del Mar, La Costa, Escondido, Oceanside, San Marcos, and Rancho San Diego. Benedict's, omelets, French toast, crepes, pancakes and waffles, sandwiches, wraps, burgers, soups, and salads. Start your day at the Broken Yoke Cafe.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.